of radio and other social media platforms on NRP Media JA is your newest online platform accessible for the promotion of your church and community activities, along with news and sports related information. It's the platform you have been longing for. So, call us today at 876-336-9928 or email us at nationalreligiousmedia@gmail.com.
NRP Media and Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Four Seasons Sports and Equipment, the Sports Closet, now located at shop number 3, Leaders Plaza, Nashville, Mandeville, Manchester. Call them today at 876-613-7429. Cellular phone 876-363-8323 or 876-546-0630. Yes, you asked for it and now you got it. Four Seasons Sports and Equipment. Shop with us for a wide range of sporting goods and equipment. It's Four Seasons Sports and Equipment. Sports Closet you'll never go asking for anymore.
And now the news. The number of persons killed on the nation's road has now surpassed 400. Figures provided by the National Road Safety Council, in fact, says the death toll has now reached 401 road fatalities recorded since the start of the year. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, NRSC, Dr. Lucian Jones, says as a result, he is urging Jamaicans to adhere to the rules of the road to reduce road crashes and deaths. According to Dr. Jones, the figure represents a 13% reduction in road deaths compared to 461 persons killed for the corresponding period last year. In an interview with JIS News, Dr. Jones said the council remains concerned about the number of lives that have been lost on the roads. He said the council counts each life as precious, and though last year this time it was about 461 deaths, that gives no comfort because far too many people have died in the country. Data from the Road Safety Unit indicates that up to December 13, the parishes of Westmoreland, St. Catherine, and St. Andrew accounted for the highest number of fatalities to date, while males accounted for 88% of the fatalities. Also, pedestrians and private motor vehicle drivers each account for 18% of the road users killed since the start of the year. Private motor vehicle passengers 11%, motorcyclists 32%, commercial motor vehicle passengers 2%, pedal cyclists 5%, public passenger vehicle drivers 2%, pillion passengers 4%, public passenger vehicle passengers 5%, vulnerable road users, which includes pedestrians, pedal cyclists, motorcyclists, and pillion 59%, and passengers 23%. Dr. Jones is urging Jamaicans to slow down on the roads, arguing that excessive speeding, overtaking carelessly, and people failing to keep left are the main causes for accidents and death. Opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, has called on the Bank of Jamaica as the regulatory agency with oversight responsibility for the financial sector to ensure that banks maintain a minimum service level standard. Mr. Robinson's call follows his criticism yesterday of the banks over what he said were the numerous complaints on a daily basis from customers who expressed concerns of not being able to withdraw cash from several ATMs. Mr. Robinson says the customers say for weeks now, having gone to some ATMs, they were found to be either not working or did not have any cash. Mr. Robinson said this was concerning, as heading into the Christmas period, operators of banks should ensure that the ATMs are working and serviced with cash regularly.
While I acknowledge the negative role that crime and vandalism has played in reducing the amount of available ATMs, the current service level availability is simply unacceptable. Within the context of banks encouraging customers to utilize non-branch channels, it is imperative that their ATMs are functional.
Opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson. JTA President Leighton Johnson says several teachers island-wide have had their debit cards cloned and thousands of dollars of their hard-earned resources fleeced from their accounts. And Mr. Johnson says what has irked the teachers is that having reported the matters, not much has been done. The JTA president says the financial strain caused by these incidents will undoubtedly have far reaching implications for the entire education sector.
Our educators are already burdened with the stress of battling with the government to be paid what we were agreed to. Now teachers have to be battling with fraudsters and the banks to keep their hard-earned salaries. These situations lead to financial losses resulting from criminal activities beyond the teacher's control.
JTA President Leighton Johnson. Classes are expected to resume at the Gregory Park Primary School in St. Catherine today, following a shooting incident at the institution yesterday. Reports are that an unidentified man was killed by the police at around 8:15 yesterday morning in full view of the students, causing many of them to be traumatized. School principal Richard Williams says classes were dismissed yesterday and the students sent home after being provided with counseling. He said that it is expected that school activities planned can go ahead today.
So school will be in session. We will have our class parties and hopefully most of the children will come out. I think the parents have been asking if it's still on and stuff. So we did tell them that we still have our class party. School begins at 7:45. Class party starts at 9. The ministry will come in for a session at 9. So we may start our class parties at around 10 o'clock. Because they're coming to do their counseling session, which we appreciate because we would have advised them of the situation.
Meanwhile, Mr. Williams says the school will need to beef up security in light of the incident.
Yes, I think so because our perimeter fence is high, it's not a low place. But the entire compound is around 800 meters worth of fencing, right? But we are hoping that we could get now razor wire to put on the top, as well as some CCTVs. And one of the things that we would have liked is that we would love if we could have gotten inducement because our community is very volatile and we have to experience all of the trauma and stuff all the time. When things happen within the community, we hear it and stuff.
Principal of Gregory Park Primary in St. Catherine, Richard Williams. The Ministry of Education and Youth has introduced a behavior change support model for students aimed at ensuring that their basic and mental health, safety, security, and behavioral and nutritional needs are met. Rollout of the behavior change support services for students in primary and secondary schools will begin in the new school term in January 2024. In secondary schools, the behavior change support services team will comprise of the guidance counselor, health and family life education teacher, dean of discipline, and school nurse, while in primary schools, the vice principal, a senior teacher, HFLE teacher, and guidance counselor will round out the group. Addressing Wednesday's December 13 post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House, Portfolio Minister Honorable Favor Williams said the idea of the collaboration evolved from the Deans of Discipline annual conference, noting that the ministry has since built awareness among principals. There are 1,200 guidance counselors, 139 established deans of discipline, and others acting in the position, 180 HFLE educators, and 120 nurses across Jamaican schools. Another man was arrested by the Area 1 Operational Support Team, Jamaica Fugitive Apprehension Team, JFAP, Lottery Scam Task Force, LSTF, and the Jamaica Defense Force, JDF, during an operation in Bogue Villa in St. James yesterday. He has been identified as 38-year-old Troy Williams, a businessman of Compass Place, Bogue Villa in the parish. Williams was wanted on a warrant of extradition in the United States for mail fraud, money laundering, wire fraud, and other lottery scamming activities. Previously arrested were 26-year-old Tajay Singh, unemployed of Paradise Heights, and 31-year-old Jason Plummer of Seaview Avenue, Coral Gardens, both in the parish. They were arrested on Wednesday, December 13, for the said offenses. The men are currently awaiting an extradition hearing. A 48-hour curfew that was imposed in sections of Trenchtown, Kingston, 12 from 6 p.m. on Tuesday, December 12 through to 6 p.m. Thursday, December 14, has been extended for another 48 hours. The curfew commenced at 6 p.m. yesterday, December 14, and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Saturday, December 16. The boundaries of the curfew are north along 7th Street and Upper 1st Street intersection to the intersection of Ralph Lane and 7th Street. South along Spanish Town Road from the intersection of Milk Lane to the intersection of Spanish Town Road and West Road. East along Ralph Lane to the intersection of Metcalf Street to the intersection of Milk Lane and onto the intersection of Milk Lane and Spanish Town Road. West along West Road from the intersection of West Road and Spanish Town Road to the intersection of Upper 1st Street and West Road to the intersection of Upper 1st Street and 7th Street. During the hours of curfew, all persons within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises for 48 hours unless otherwise authorized by the ground commander. You're listening to news on NRP Radio, your primary Christian source for news, sports, and the weather on nrpmediaja.com, reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations.
Celebrating 3 years since our inception, the NRP brand of radio and other social media platforms on NRP Media JA is your newest online platform accessible for the promotion of your church and community activities, along with news and sports related information. It's the platform you have been longing for. So call us today at 876-336-9928 or email us at nationalreligiousmedia@gmail.com.
NRP Media and Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
And now, let's give you some sporting information brought to you by Hepburn's Glass, located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 9080962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass, quality service is our priority.
And now for the sports stories. On cricket, Brandon King hit an unbeaten 82 as West Indies beat England by 10 runs in the second T20 in Grenada to go 2-0 up in the 5-match series. The Jamaican opener put on an 80-run partnership with captain Rovman Powell after the host slipped to 54-4 in the 9th over. Sam Curran endured a torrid 16th over at the hands of Powell, conceding 30 runs, including 4 sixes, before dismissing the 30-year-old with his final delivery. But King carried on the charge, striking Rehan Ahmed's next over for 18 as the West Indies finished on 176-7. England's captain, Joe Butler, fell tamely in the 3rd over of their chase, caught in the covers of the bowling of Akil Hoyson. His side fell behind the rate and lost wickets at steady intervals, with the next 6 batters all caught in the deep as they sought to mimic the boundary-heavy West Indies innings. Kiran, promoted up to the order to number 4 offered some resistance as he hit his maiden T20 International 50, but was out next ball to Elzari Joseph, who took 3 to 39, leaving the rest with too much to do. The teams remain in Grenada for the third T20 on Saturday. Clara Evans set a new Welsh record of 2 hours 25 minutes and 4 seconds at the Valencia Marathon on Sunday. The 30-year-old of the Pontypridd Rodents Club broke the previous best of 2 hours 26 minutes and 14 seconds set by Natasha Cockram last year. Evans's time, which is under the Olympic qualifying standard, was more than 4 minutes quicker than her previous best mark, which was set earlier this year. She finished 9th in the marathon at last year's Commonwealth Games. That's sports in our NRP Break of Day newscast, brought to you by Hepburn's Glass, located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 9080962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass. Quality service is our priority.
We promise to bring you a good news story as often as we can. If you know of or are aware of any event or person whose good story we should highlight, please send this information to our email address at nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com or call 876-336-9928. That's the local news and sports. Stand by now for the latest international news, courtesy of the Voice of America.
This is VOA News. I'm Tommy McNeil. President Joe Biden is calling on Israel to do more in protecting civilians during its war with Hamas.
Days after warning Israel risks losing international support over conducting indiscriminate bombing in Gaza.
I want them to be focused on how to save civilian lives, not stop going after Hamas, but be more careful.
It was a message National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan gave in person to Israeli leaders.
Gratitude for the steps they're taking, but also to continue to urge them to take more, because we want to see them be more precise, more surgical, more deliberate, more cautious going forward.
Kirby says Sullivan talked about possibly transitioning from high-intensity operations
to lower intensity operations sometime in the near future.
That came as Israel's defense chief predicted a drawn-out war, saying it will take months to destroy Hamas. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said his goals in Ukraine remain the same.
Russian President Vladimir Putin was greeted with applause as he arrived at his end-of-year news conference in a hall in central Moscow. At the news conference, Putin said that his goals remain the same in Ukraine and there would be no peace until they're achieved. The Russian leader also added a rare detail on the war in Ukraine, saying 617,000 Russian troops are currently fighting there. He also said that 244,000 of the 617,000 soldiers were called up to fight alongside professional Russian military troops. Putin, who has held power for nearly 24 years, said last week that he's running for re-election in March. I'm Karen Chamas.
More at voanews.com. This is VOA News.
That was the latest international news from the VOA. Now for the weather report and forecast. There is a trough across Jamaica. The trough is expected to remain across the island until Saturday, when a high-pressure ridge builds across the central Caribbean. Now for our 24-hour forecast. This morning it will be partly cloudy, and this afternoon, expect isolated showers across sections of northern parishes. Now for a 3-day forecast. On Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, expect partly cloudy conditions, especially across sections of northern parishes. In other current regional weather features, there is a stationary front across northern Bahamas. That is the latest weather report and forecast in the NRP Break of Day newscast. With that, we have come to the end of our news presentation for this morning. But before we go, here are the headlines once again. The number of persons killed on the nation's road has now surpassed 400. Bank of Jamaica asked to ensure that banks maintain a minimum service level standard. Classes are expected to resume at the Gregory Park Primary School in St. Catherine today, following a shooting incident at the institution yesterday. 48-hour curfew imposed in sections of Trenchtown, Kingston extended further. And in some sporting information, Clara Evans set a new Welsh record of 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 4 seconds at the Valencia Marathon on Sunday. The full information package today came to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Celebrating 3 years since our inception, the NRP brand of radio and other social media platforms on NRP Media JA is your newest online platform accessible for the promotion of your church and community activities, along with news and sports related information. It's the platform you have been longing for. So call us today at 876-336-9928 or email us at nationalreligiousmedia@gmail.com.
NRP Media and Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Here is your invitation to join us again this evening at 6:30 for the NRP Evening News Roundup. Remember, we invite you to give your feedback to this newscast via WhatsApp at 876-336-9928 or on any of the platforms that you're listening. We invite you to also subscribe to our YouTube channel at NRP Media JA and click on the notification bell. The same applies to our Facebook pages at NRP Media JA under the name Leon Nash. Our radio platform at nrpmediaja.com is always operating 24/7, 365 days per year for your listening pleasure. Join this growing medium, feel fulfilled and informed. I am Kimberly Ashley for NRP News. Have a good rest of your morning.
Back and tell them it's already getting easier. When you prophesy to your neighbor, tell them God's already moving on your behalf.